Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angie. I'm a work from home mom, financial professional, and one of the co-founders of Little Z, our premium sustainable baby clothing brand. Welcome. So becoming a mom has been one of the greatest privileges of my life, and it's been super rewarding but exhausting at the same time. And we go through so many emotions, right? All the great emotions, all the lack of sleep that you get. There's one thing that we all have in common and that we all go through the same and we all stress about, and that is the financial side of having a baby. So much that when we start planning to have a baby or when we get pregnant, we always ask ourselves, can we afford them? So today, I want to share with you tricks and tips that allow me and my husband to stay on offense and not defense. So let's get right into it. So parenting is one of life's greatest blessings, blah, 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 but it's hard on the wallet. Diapers, formula, childcare, cost can quickly add up. Let's not even get started if it's your first baby, because then you have to think about all the gadgets you want, nursery, clothing, wink. So it really can stress you and put unnecessary stress to your well-being. But with a little planning, in my opinion, you can create a budget that could work for you and your growing family. And you get to stress less and spend more time in what matters most, which is with your family. So first things first, I run my household finances like I run my business. What does it mean? It means we set goals, targets, right? So when we're doing a budgeting, we should have a target in mind, just like a business does, right? A business, when we're doing budgeting for the business, we often think, okay, this is how much money we're going to need for production. This is how much money we're going to need for logistics. This is how much money we're going to need for marketing. So same thing. But at the end of the day, we usually have a goal. We need to make this much money so that we can get to that production, so that we can introduce a new product, right? So similar to that, we should always have targets and goals when we're entering the household finances. We should set goals such as decrease debt, increase savings, save for XYZ, save for a vacation, maybe open a 529 plan for our kids. Okay, see targets, see like what your goals are. And now here is a little tip. When you're setting up targets or goals, you should set two types of goals. One, an achievable goal, so that achievable goal will become an incentive to keep on going. And the second one is a reaching goal. So this is a goal that's a little harder to reach. It's the big deal, it's the big vacation, it's that big closet you want, it's that renewing bathroom that you want to do, so it's great to have two types of goals, the achievable goal and the reaching goal. Those two are going to help you out. So now that we have our targets, our goals, it's that hideous work of keeping track, right? Keeping track of income and expenses. This could be a nightmare. But once you get a hold of it, it gets easier and easier, right? And key here is transparency. You want to be very transparent and you want to literally input everything because you want to know where your money is going, right? You don't want surprises. Remember, the goal here is to be on the offense, not defense. We don't want to react. We want to be proactive. So keeping track, super important on everything that we spend on and the income that we have. If you have multiple streaming incomes, great. If you don't, it's okay. We'll have one entry. That's okay. We just have to make that entry work. Okay, so now that we have our data, now it's time to analyze trends. What does that mean? I'm sounding nerdier and nerdier as this video goes along. But analyze trends means that you input all your data and you're going to see, with time, you're going to see all your household bills, right? You're going to see and then within households, you're going to see the fixed stuff and you're going to see the variable stuff. You're going to see the groceries, which is probably variable, maybe not so much. Like it might not vary so much, but it's not a consistent number as it would be for like mortgage or car payments per se, or insurance per se. So that's where that goes. And now, when we also talk about analyzing trends, we're talking about, you see, for example, an entry, right? You see August, my bills went down, but guess what? You went on vacation. So, the money that you were supposed to spend on the bills have shifted to vacation category. So, those instances, maybe overall you are spending a little more in August than you usually do, but that's because you went on vacation, right? Again, your bills went down, but the money, it's not like the money's just shifted, essentially, the usage, but your spending habits haven't changed, or as a matter of fact, might have increased. All right, so now that we have that, let's see. Now, you can do this alone. You need your team. So my fourth point is involve everybody in your family. In my case, it's me, my husband, my toddler, and my baby. I have a little baby, 7-month-old baby, 8-month-old baby, I should say. So I can't really involve the little one so much, but my husband definitely can be involved, right? The more people are involved, the more people are accountable for this, the more this goal will be achieved, meaning like the teamwork makes the dream work. So it is super important to involve everybody. This will account for transparency and accountability, right? It's super important to have everybody be on the same page so that we can achieve that goal. It's not an individual's goal, it's a family goal. So everybody has to be on the same page in order to achieve it. Okay, so to recap, number 1, set clear goals, targets, achievable and reaching. Very important to have those two. Remember, achievable are those goals that will give you an incentive to keep going for that reaching goal. Number 2, keep track and be transparent. Super important to be transparent. That brings accountability, and that really helps you guys as a family to move forward and to get to that goal. Number 3, analyze your trends. See where you're spending. If your goal is to save, see where you can cut. Maybe you don't need to buy these very expensive steaks instead of expensive steaks, maybe you want to do a little seafood, or maybe you want to increase your chicken intake. The whole reason for analyzing is for you to be able to see trends, identify trends, and once trends have been identified, you're able to come up with a solution, come up with a logistic way to get to your goals. Very important. So this number 3 of analyzing, super important. Focus, you'll get to your goal before you know it. And number 4, involve everybody in your family. Super important. The more people are involved, the better. I'm waiting for my daughters to grow so I can involve them. I started with my toddler and teaching her about work and money. So she's understanding that the reason why, mommy and daddy work is so that we have money, and the money goes for paying for everything, right? The home that we have, the car that we have, the school that she goes, and so forth. So very important. Knowledge is key. Now, on top of this, I have a few tips that I believe will positively impact your family finances. They are number 1, manage the family household finances like a business. Setting targets, making everybody accountable. These things are things that we use in business, right? And these are things that make us reach our goals. So apply them to your household. You'll have a well-operating household from a finances perspective in no time. Number 2, transparency is key. So I know everybody's like, but I don't want to show my husband my credit card bill. That's okay. Hey, you know what? It's okay, because you're in it together. There's no reason why you should be hiding unless it's a present. So yes, transparency is key. That would lead you to, because you have clean knowledge, you won't have surprises. I think the worst thing in finance, or the worst thing in any job or any situation, is a bad surprise. Just being surprised negatively when you're not prepared, right? When you're not prepared and you're surprised by something. Imagine not being prepared to have a baby and getting pregnant, right? So that's not easy. It's difficult. So I know it's a very strange analogy, especially when we're talking about money, but being surprised, I think, is the worst, and being reactive is just so not healthy. So let's be proactive, guys. Let's be proactive. All right. No, number 3, this is gonna create drama. Number 3 is combine income. Why I think combining income is important? Because when you combine income, you become a unit. Not when you get married, not when you sign documents, but when you combine income with your spouse, because that means you are literally in it together. There's no other way around, right? Like it's just, this is how much I make, this is how much you make, we're gonna make this ship work. So it's the gesture is a total mental like commitment. So I think it's really important to combine income. I cannot wait to read all the I disagree with your comments. Anyways, that's a cup of tea for another day. Number 4, allocate yourselves an allowance. I think because you do combine income, right? It doesn't mean that you should be left with no money. On the contrary, I think it just makes you responsible for that usage of funds. But once you combine income, super important to allocate yourself funds, right? Whether you use those funds to reinvest it in your family, meaning buy, I don't know, something for the family, or buy something for your kids, or I don't know, or save it. In my case, it depends, right? Some of it I save, some of it I use. But I think it's just allocating yourself an allowance is super important because it gives you mental picture, which for me works. But it's like the priority list changes, shifts, It's like house first, then me later, right? It's not me first and then house later. It's literally house first and me later. So just that little details, I think, make a difference in the whole transparency and accountability section of this household finance subject. And number 5, when we focus on your targets, this is literally why I think it's important to involve everybody, because you're gonna get weak and you're gonna be like, oh, I want that, or I want this, or we could do this, or we could go to this trip, or we could do. But when you focus on your goal, you're able to just, when you have other people, like going to the gym with other people, right, with your friends or whatever, makes you accountable. It makes you, and there's somebody like cheering you on and like pushing you through. Really important. So same concept with this, right? When there's a group of people that are pushing for the same goal, you just go for it. For example, let me give you a little anecdotal example. When I was in college, my parents saved every penny to go for my school, right? So I knew this. I knew that they knew this because they used, like, I saw it, but I knew it. And knowing and understanding this made me respect them to a level of no end. Like, just knowing that there was a goal, that there was a target, that we worked all of us together for it, because everybody had to suck it up and not spend money on things that we didn't need, because my education was important, because it was my future. Right? Same thing with my brother. They had the same mentality. So like knowing and understanding this, no matter how old the child is super important, because that will give them a knowledge on something, an accountability to something that they could take forever. So this is a great, huge contribution to their growth, to their life. So yeah, those are my tips. I hope that these tips and these concepts are really helpful to your family. Yeah, I hope, please leave me comments on, what your thoughts are. If, what I said was a little too crazy, too outrageous, please do leave me comments. I will read them over. And if you have a chance, go take a look at my Instagram or Little Z's website. We have blogs with a bunch of topics that I think are important for new families. Until next time, now I have to go make dinner, but it's been a pleasure. Comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my other social media websites. Okay, bye.